Donald Trump's convictions in New York. In that discussion, Obama said, quote, "We had the spectacle of the nominee of one of the two major parties sitting in court and being convicted by a jury of his peers on 34 counts. You have his organization being prosecuted for not paying taxes, set aside all the other stuff," he says.
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House. The Trump campaign again accusing Democrats of weaponizing the justice system. House Speaker Mike Johnson visiting the former president in Florida for the second time in recent months.
Fox has told the meeting will focus on a potential governing agenda if the GOP wins back the White House, Senate, and House. National Republican Congressional Committee Chairman Richard Hudson will also be there to discuss election strategy, with the GOP trying to keep control of the House with a razor-thin margin. This comes after former President Trump met with Republicans in both the House and Senate in Washington as he tries to unify the party heading into Election Day.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. Another legal setback for the Biden administration effort to expand protections for LGBTQ+ students. A federal judge just blocking the new Title IX rule temporarily in 6 more states, calling it arbitrary in the truest sense of the word, days after a different federal judge blocked it in 4 states. Republican attorneys general have challenged the rule, arguing the Education Department is overstepping its authority by redefining sex to include gender identity. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
But pure summertime as we go through this Monday afternoon. It's pure summer all week long. Partly to mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. 99 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 75. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a pop afternoon storm, 93. Wednesday is sunny and 94. Thursday, 96. Friday, 99. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Let's talk about Stewart's American Mortgage and the bagel loan. And when you've got an economy that is doing what it's doing right now, you need to make every smart move that you possibly can make with your finances. If you are having to buy a home right now, you know that the mortgage is, the rates, they're higher than you like them to be. They're definitely higher than their lowest lows. So you need to make a really good decision. That starts with calling or texting Stewart's American Mortgage. He's easy to reach at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. When you talk to Stewitt, you're going to set him up. You're going to tell him where you are, what you're trying to do, what you need to get approved for. He's going to help you get pre-approved. Once you are pre-approved, you can go onto his website and generate your own pre-approval letters. So if you're making an offer, you don't have an extra middleman that you've got to go through, but you're going to get a great low rate, and you're going to get the bagel loan, which comes with $0 in closing costs. They're not there. You get to that closing, you don't know anything. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards the new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener, too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I think Donald Trump is a joke. I mean, when this guy, when his lips are moving, he's lying. And then when he tries to accuse somebody else of speaking improperly, he can't keep two thoughts in his mind. I would encourage Americans to go listen to Donald Trump's full speeches and try to put that word spaghetti together. And I wonder why anybody is questioning Joe Biden's mental acuity. Donald Trump can't string two sentences together.
You know, it's this type of, what's the phrase? Bologna sausage that is being shoveled into your earlobes by the Biden campaign co-chair, Mitch Landrieu, or something. And there's only so much of that bologna sausage that you can handle before it starts to frustrate you, kind of make you angry because people are saying these things and as if you're stupid enough to believe them. This is why. This is exactly why. A1 evidence that 1 hour interview that Donald Trump had with Logan Paul last week is an absolute devastating blow to Joe Biden's campaign. Because the entire Joe Biden campaign is that Joe Biden is not Donald Trump, and the fact that Joe Biden isn't Donald Trump is simply enough. They have to paint him out to be some sort of evil dictator, and that's not, when I say evil dictator, I'm not saying that like the hyperbole is like, oh, he's the big bad guy. No, they actually believe that he's evil, or, gosh, I have to correct myself. They don't believe that he's evil. They think you're stupid enough to believe that he's evil. Big difference there, right? The idea that you would be in a position to hear the co-chair for the Biden campaign suggest to you that Donald Trump is incapable of putting two sentences together, holding two thoughts at the same time, and that it's laughable to him that people question Joe Biden's mental acuity. It's absolutely ridiculous. And people know that, and people are reacting to it.
Look at this New York Times poll from last month. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is up 9 points in Wisconsin. Biden's only up 2 points. Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey up 5 in PA. Biden's down 3. Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego running for Senate in Arizona up 4. Biden down 7. Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen up 2 in Nevada. Biden's down 12. How can you look at these statistics, these numbers, and not conclude that Joe Biden is a drag on the ticket?
Oh, that's not going to be the case.
But look at the numbers.
Well, that's one poll.
I mean, you're happy for your colleagues, I'm sure, but Biden is underpolling all of them.
Well, that's one poll. I can also show you 60 other polls that show that Joe Biden is in the lead. There are plenty of polls in swing states that show that Joe Biden has a small lead. This is going to be a close race. There's no doubt about it.
So there, Jake Tapper going back and forth with Senator Murphy. He's from Connecticut. He is a Democrat. And what you're hearing there is one of the main reasons why polls don't take up a big amount of time in my brain. Something interesting to look at. Polls are constantly coming out, showing this, that, and the other thing. But any X account that you follow that is constantly putting polls out there, and I follow them and I retweet them because I find them to be interesting. But I find them to be interesting in the context of the time that it took me to read them and scroll past them. Because any account can put out there any set of polls to persuade you to believe that what is happening is what they are showing you and not actually something broader than that. Senator Murphy said, I can show you a whole host of polls in swing states that show that this is a very close race. Which is interesting that he didn't say that there are a bunch of polls that say that Joe Biden is dominating. The controversy here between what Jake Tapper is saying is concerning for Democrats like Senator Murphy and Joe Biden. The response to that from Senator Murphy is, oh, I can show you a lot of polls where it's a very close race. That's what they want you to believe. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, and if you cannot have been on Twitter X this weekend and missed this video of Joe Biden being at a campaign fundraiser, and he is flanked by Barack Obama, the Democrat, and Jimmy Kimmel. the donkey. There you go. They're standing on each side of him on a stage. Beautiful room, beautiful stage, full of really wealthy people, and there's nothing that gets the kids going quite like George Clooney. That in and of itself, tangent time, swing and a miss. How old is George Clooney? Do we know? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That's not a failure on your part. 63 years old. Now, I'm a 40-year-old woman. I think George Clooney is incredibly handsome, and he has all the sachet that you would expect an iconic Hollywood actor to have. He might be the last generation of Hollywood actors the way I grew up understanding Hollywood actors to be, but the idea that everybody is so incredibly accessible through social media now. I mean, you didn't get to see Robert Redford like cooking scrambled eggs in his kitchen on a Tuesday regularly in old Hollywood. That's not how it worked. They were inaccessible. You thought to yourself, would they even know how to make scrambled eggs? Certainly somebody makes all of their food for them and does everything. You just like have a completely dystopian idea of what celebrities in Hollywood live their lives like. And when social media came onto the scene, and then the thing that really doubled down on it was COVID, when everyone was super idle hands, and what you had was time and a phone. So you started showing everybody every intricate detail of your life. And eventually we kind of surprisingly were like, yawn, moving on. Celebrities aren't as celebrated as they were before because we know so much about them. We're not as curious about them anymore. Logan Paul sitting down with Donald Trump is enormously more effective to talking to young people and getting young people to consider the fact that maybe Donald Trump isn't who the capital T they have told those young people that Donald Trump is for so incredibly long. That's the point there. I don't think that you look at Logan Paul, the Logan Paul interview, and go, this is the way to really get the young vote out. You can't. They're so far away from being able to turn out the young vote for Donald Trump. They have to shatter the understanding that has been dramatically painted and committed to by the left, by the media, by the celebrities, by the musicians and the athletes, all of the entertainers who have come out and constantly explained how dangerous Donald Trump is. Donald Trump sits down and has an hour-long coherent conversation, which is supposed to be cut short. And towards the end of the interview, Logan Paul says, hey, we're getting the 10-minute warning. And Trump goes, we can go a little bit longer. Is that okay with you? He's so kind and so genuine about the way he's having this conversation with them. It's just like taking a nail, a chisel, and a hammer and just going tap, tap, tap. And then pretty soon, people are going to see Donald Trump for who he really is. That doesn't mean that people are going to go vote for him, but it does mean that people are going to start making their own decisions because they've been informed. The worst thing that can happen to this version, this iteration of the Democrat Party, is that voters actually get informed in truth, not your truth or his truth or her truth, the truth. Back to the stage at this fundraiser where George Clooney was selling the opportunity to sit down and have dinner with him and the president, Barack Obama, all these big names that you see in lights. Lots of high dollar attendees. I think it was $30 million or something that they raised, which is a huge number. It's an absolutely huge number. But it's from people who are not like you. It's from people who are not like me. These are very wealthy people who are showing up to events like this to protect something that they deem important. I don't think that they pay this money just to sit down and have a dinner with the Hollywood elite. They're investing in something and protecting something, or they're scared of something. So they all come together and raise $30 million so that Joe Biden has what he needs to beat the big, bad, evil Donald Trump in November of this year. And on that stage, when the event is wrapping up, and Jimmy Kimmel, who moderated the evening, hosted the evening, are standing up with Joe Biden in the middle and a little bit out front of Jimmy Kimmel, and then Barack Obama over Joe Biden's left shoulder, wave to the right of the stage, wave to the left of the stage, wave to the middle of the stage, put two hands up and wave to everybody from the stage. And then you're supposed to leave the stage. And they just kept waving and waving and waiting. Joe Biden is standing in the front of the stage with Jimmy Kimmel and Barack Obama behind him, potentially what I would assume is out of his peripheral vision. And he's just kind of standing there. And then the unthinkable happens. They've waited long enough. Joe Biden hasn't turned around to look at Jimmy Kimmel. He hasn't glanced over his left shoulder to look at Barack Obama. He's just standing there. And Barack Obama comes up from Joe Biden's left, doesn't pat him on the back and wave to the crowd with him, doesn't go up and give him a Barack Obama cool fist bump to be like, hey, we're hip and cool together, guys. Everybody know we're here. We're cool. We're ready to take on 4 more years. He extends his arm. Barack Obama extends his arm to the forearm, the left forearm of Joe Biden. And Joe Biden turns around, and then Barack Obama guides him off the stage. The only question that I really have about that moment is, did Barack Obama know how disastrous that was going to look for the president of the United States? And I don't have a yes or no answer yet, I've decided in my head. If anybody knows anything about optics, Barack Obama is the guy. He knows how to make things look cool. He knows how to work a stage. He knows how to deliver a speech. He knows how to work a room. In my opinion, if I were in a position, and I've been on stage with people before, I've been in uncertain situations where you're trying to figure out, like, gosh, how do you get off the stage here? There are ways that Barack Obama could have helped Joe Biden get off the stage without leading him like the old man that he is. It would have been incredibly easy for Barack Obama to look at Jimmy Kimmel and nod his head and essentially say to Jimmy Kimmel, follow my lead. They could have walked up and flanked Joe Biden. They could have stood by his side. They could have done the fist bump thing. They could have shaken Joe Biden's hand and then turned around together and walked away, and Joe Biden would have done it. But Barack Obama guided Joe Biden off the stage. I think this is the end. It's not a secret that I don't think that Joe Biden's the candidate. I haven't thought that for years, and I've been saying as such, and I know that it's complicated to change the name on the ticket. But if they have a certain loss in front of them with Joe Biden, there is no reason for the Democrats not to do whatever they have to do to try to win. And I don't know about you, but I think that the Democrats are willing to do what it takes to win. And if they are headed in the direction of a certain loss, I believe that they will, and I believe it'll be sooner than we think. I pray that I'm wrong. I pray that come November, Joe Biden is the guy on the ticket. I just don't think, I would just think it's the greatest political malfeasance that I've ever witnessed in my life to think that they had not done what they needed to do to give their party a fighting chance. Love to know what you think. The YouTube poll for today is, how would you assess Joe Biden's acuity? So this is going to be interesting because we have three options for you: mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit. Now, I assume on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis is home for conservative talk, the legacy conservative talk station here in St. Louis, where we have all kinds of people who, through multiple presidencies, have been listening to this radio station. Some have come to the party because of Trump. Some have left the party because of Trump, but you're still here. We have a wide variety of people who are going to see this poll and have political reasons to say one thing or the other. But since it's anonymous, we don't know how you vote. Nobody knows how you vote. Wonder what the 97.1 audience is going to say about Joe Biden's mental acuity today. And you have the chance to vote by going to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, checking out our live broadcast. And if you go to the live chat, the poll is in the live chat. That's why we call it the live chat poll. Is he mentally fit? Is he slipping? Or is he mentally unfit? Let us know what you think. We're going to speak with Andrew Arthur, who is the resident fellow in law and policy for the Center for Immigration Studies. He's a former immigration judge as well. And we're going to talk to him about Joe Biden talking about making people who are here with not legal status all of a sudden have legal status. I think he said something like, hey, if you've been here for 10 years, we'll give that to you. What is Joe Biden looking to do? Why is he looking to do it? And is he going to get away with it? We'll speak with Andrew Arthur when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Okay, so it's the summer and Father's Day is behind us, but I do want to remind you that at the Diamond Shop, they do have 40% off all men's in-stock jewelry in June, so you can go pick something up if you missed the day or maybe delayed the day. But let's talk about some of the other things they have for everybody. 40% off all pearl jewelry at the Diamond Shop. If you also are looking for potentially something with a diamond in it, maybe an engagement ring, how about 60% off all lab-grown diamond jewelry, including their Carriza engagement rings? This is a great opportunity to save on popping that question. And you can do it at the Diamond Shop. They'll walk you through the whole process. They'll make sure that you are completely satisfied, ecstatic even, at the purchase you're going to make for that special someone. And if you become a VIP, which is incredibly easy to do, you just go to thediamondshop.net, thediamondshop.net, and you sign up there at the very bottom of the homepage. You scroll to the bottom, quick form to fill out, and you're going to save 10% in addition because you are a Diamond Shop VIP. Reach out to them online at thediamondshop.net or visit them in their beautiful store in Clayton. A reminder, they have special financing always available for 6 months, same as cash. Everything online at thediamondshop.net.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law Offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The National Memorial of Military Ascent is on a mission to create a first-class Veterans Memorial Complex in Grafton, Illinois. Sue Thomas here. Conservatives Care is honoring our veterans. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
My life's in books, written pages, living learn from fools and from sages. You know it's true.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
This morning, multiple sources familiar with the White House's plans tell NBC News that President Biden is set to take executive action as early as Tuesday to protect hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation.
So yeah, you hear it. That's an NBC report, and Joe Biden is doing something. You know, he's been on this. He has been very attentive to the border situation. And I call it the border situation because I can't really identify if he even thinks it's a crisis. He got all these people here. Now, what do you do with them? Let's talk to Andrew Arthur, who's a resident fellow in law and policy for the Center for Immigration Studies. And he's here to talk to us about this. Art, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Hey, Annie, thanks so much for having me today.
You bet. We're grateful for it because we need to, I'm going to say we need to make some sense of this. I don't know if you can do that. But what is Joe Biden suggesting now for all those people who are here? I think it was last week, a poll that came out, 62% of Americans support mass deportation for anyone here who is illegal. What is Joe Biden's solution?
So Joe Biden doesn't actually have a solution to deal with the 13.5 million aliens that the Center for Immigration Studies has determined are illegally present in the United States, except he wants to attempt to legalize about 1.1 million of those people, spouses of United States citizens who are here illegally, who entered illegally, who married United States citizens, and who would logically be able to adjust their status, that is, to get green cards, if only they had come legally. So what the president is proposing is taking that population of 1.1 million people, giving them something called parole in place, and using that to, again, put them on that path to getting green cards, getting citizenship, and remaining here permanently. Now, there's no authorization in the law, or not much authorization in the law for the president to do this, but there also wasn't a whole lot of authorization in the law for the other 1.5 million plus paroles he's already issued to people who have no right to be in the United States. So that's where we are.
Let's look at the converse of that. Of course, if people chose to elect a different president in November, you'd certainly see different policy, a different acknowledgement of what is taking place at the southern border. At the stroke of a pen of the executive of the president of the United States, or with the conjunction of legislation passed in Congress, what are the options that are at hand for the problem we found ourselves in with the millions of people who have come here illegally in the past, I don't know, probably 10, even 20 years?
So, the border question is a lot easier to answer. At the border, if it were the Trump administration or DeSantis administration, Haley or Kennedy or whoever else, they would simply re-implement that Remain in Mexico policy that President Trump implemented to send people back to await their removal hearings to request asylum. So that one's easy. With respect to the people who are here illegally, the law says they're all supposed to be removed. If they're not eligible for any sort of immigration benefit, they're all supposed to go. Now, right now, the Biden administration has no intention to do that. In fact, it gives curious waivers or curious exceptions from enforcement to people like those who have committed domestic violence. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, recently impeached in the House, has, created sort of a blanket for those who engage in domestic violence to hide under while they're here. But with respect to removing the rest of those folks from the United States, there are a couple of things that can be done, Andy. One, you could deny them the opportunity to work. If people can't work, if they're here illegally and they can't work, they're going to go home because they can't make any money, and most of them, almost all of them, came here to make money. Mm-hmm. So the president could do that through a E-Verify system to verify the employment eligibility of everybody who's working in the United States, including you and me. Alternatively, the president could attempt to, encourage people to leave the United States by otherwise restricting their ability to move freely in this country. President Trump has talked about a massive deportation program, but there are only about, 5,400 ICE officers to carry out 13.5 million removals. So that's probably not going to work, and using the National Guard really isn't an option either. So, there are things that an administration that was interested in removing people could do. Lord knows we saw that happen under both Obama and Trump. The current administration just doesn't show any interest, however.
We're speaking with Andrew Arthur. He's a resident fellow in law and policy for the Center for Immigration Studies. He is also a former immigration judge. I want to ask you about your thoughts on the deterrence. If you have a secure border, and the word people will often say politically or simply that we need to close the border. Closing the border technically means something very different than simply securing the border. And I think it's pretty easy to say right now we have an unsecure border situation. If we were to fully secure it, is there a major effect on people's willingness to go through what it takes to try to get in the United States? Does deterrence do the trick, at least in an impactful way?
That's probably the best question that I've gotten in at least a couple of weeks, because deterrence, Annie, is the thing that is, completely forgotten in all of this. Every administration prior to this one deterred people from entering the United States illegally, and they did that for two reasons. One, because we don't want to have people enter the United States illegally. Two, though, is to protect people who would otherwise undertake that amazingly dangerous journey to come to the United States illegally with the help of smugglers who are basically criminals. Now, if you go back to an incident, you probably remember the whipping incident that didn't happen down in Del Rio, Texas in September 2021. Now, we all know that the agents were, exonerated of any fact that they whipped anybody, even though the president himself said they would pay. But the more important part of that case is that DHS's Office of Professional Responsibility attempted to refer the agents in question for prosecution for attempting to deter people from the United States. It's almost exceptional. I keep telling people this, and they're like, that's crazy. You must have read it wrong. But no, that's exactly what happened. The purpose of Border Patrol is to apprehend people coming illegally, but it's to do that in order to deter other people from coming illegally. Deterrence was a very, very major aspect of Barack Obama's border policies, and certainly of Donald Trump's border policies. And again, you can go all the way back to Eisenhower, and you'll see that deterrence was key.
Yeah.
This is the first administration ever in history to reject deterrence as a border policy in lieu of allowing every person who can come to the United States legally or illegally to make an asylum claim, regardless of whether that claim is real or not, fraudulent or not. So, that really is the difference. If you wonder why all these folks are here, that's the reason why.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Arthur here with us with the Center for Immigration Studies. And I think it is it's very important to separate the issues that need to be addressed, because politicians try to shift into one side or the other of the issue as to not have to address anything. That's my opinion of it. Republicans want to secure the border, and Democrats respond by saying these people are hard workers who came here for a better life in the American dream, which is funny because the left just wants to destroy the American dream because they hate America, but I digress. But if you talk about wanting to improve immigration laws, which you may have some ideas how broadly we could improve immigration laws, then the right will just say, but we need to secure the border. And it's so cyclical that nothing ends up happening other than maybe drumming up some political interest from people you want to come out and support you and vote for you. But in the end, if there's no actual result on improving either of the situations, everybody continues to lose. Do you have a feeling about immigration specifically, setting the border aside, understanding it needs to be secured? Maybe the Republicans have done it right. Maybe they need to do something better. Maybe the Democrats have had ideas. Maybe they could do something better. What needs to be done on the immigration side to make sure that we can still have a secure border, but that people can still pursue that American dream?
Yeah, and it's not even a secure border, Annie. It's a secure homeland. Because in the wake of September 11th, the 9/11 Commission, which you probably remember, issued an 800-page document that explained what we had to do to close the front door to prevent terrorists from exploiting our lawful immigration system. And we've managed to do that, over the subsequent 20 years. Now, they also warned that, in the years prior to September 11th, border security was not considered to be a component of national security. We weren't worried about drugs. We were worried about large numbers of people, but we weren't actually worried about the terrorists themselves. And they warned that we should be worried about that. Fast forward to 2024, the Biden administration has completely ignored all of those warnings in the 9/11 Commission report. What we want to do is we want to encourage people who have any right to come to this country to do it legally, to be screened abroad, to be screened for criminality, for terrorist intent, for diseases that, may be spread in the country and may impose medical costs on this country, which means that we have to deter, again, back to your word, which you hardly ever hear these days, people from coming here illegally, and then encouraging people who are here illegally to leave. It's important to note the fact that the Trump administration actually drove the number of illegal immigrants in the United States down to its lowest level in about 20 years by, again, enforcing the border, cracking down on unscrupulous employers that exploit cheap immigrant labor, and by encouraging people to leave. This is possible. None of this is an intractable problem. This is my 32nd year doing this, and I've seen everything come and go. Now, with respect to legislative changes, which is, at the heart of your question, the problem is that, as Chuck Schumer said back in November 2021, standing on the steps of Congress, he wants amnesty. He doesn't want an amnesty for DACA recipients or for, spouses of United States citizens who are here illegally. He wants amnesty for, as he put it at the time, all 11 million people who are here illegally, or however many there are. So, that really is the point. And whenever you hear people talk about comprehensive immigration reform, that's generally code for a massive amnesty. And if you're too young to remember 1986, but back in 1986, President Reagan had a massive amnesty with the caveat that from this point forward, we were going to enforce the laws. We always get the amnesty. We just don't ever get the enforcement. And if there's going to be any talk about that for any population of people who are here illegally, there are things that we can do, that this country must do, in order to ensure that everyone who is here lawfully, and if they're not, they be removed.
Art, I'm thinking of the situation right now. Every week we have a new story of somebody who is here illegally, has committed a heinous crime, and if we would be enforcing our laws, there would be literally Americans who would still be alive right now. And I just think that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom in order to pick yourself back up again. And I hope and pray that we aren't too far away from that rock bottom. Maybe people will actually have the resolve to vote in favor of doing what you're saying needs to be done, the counter to the amnesty, so that we can avoid those problems in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, you make another key point. Every crime that is committed by somebody who is here illegally is an avoidable crime. If people aren't supposed to be here, and if they're criminals, they should be removed. And that really starts on the front end. If you look at the class of immigrants in the United States writ large, and we're at the highest level of foreign-born people in the United States, 15.6% of the population right now is foreign-born, you'll see that, writ large, it is a very law-abiding population, because all of those folks who came here, and there are tens of millions of them, were screened for a criminal history before they ever got here. When people enter illegally, we don't do that screening. There's no way for us to know whether or not they, are wanted for murder in their home country unless it's raised to the point that there's what's known as an Interpol red notice that is issued to law enforcement all around the world. So, we have a population of unscreened individuals in the United States. We assume that the vast majority are here just to make money. But, some of them come here with more benign intent. We look at these high-profile murders, the murder of the accused murder of Laken Riley, Jose Ibarra. What did that guy do before he came here? If the charges are right, his first, crime in the United States was actually an illegal moped crime, but the second crime was murder. Nobody, Annie, and I've been in law enforcement for 32 years. Nobody jumps right to murder in broad daylight. Any person that commits one of these crimes probably has a criminal history abroad. Yeah. And if they had come through the legal system, we would have been able to stop them.
Well, we appreciate your time today, Andrew Arthur. Thank you for being with us, because it's an issue that is very politically charged, but getting to the bottom of the facts is always what's important to us, especially here on the show. And we're grateful you could participate in that with us. Thanks, Art, for being here. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. I look forward to our next visit. Hopefully it'll be a happy one.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to that as well. Andrew Arthur, resident fellow in law and policy for the Center for Immigration Studies. Pleasure to have here with us. Let's take a quick break. Weekends America. When we come back, all the stories that you might have missed over the course of the weekend, but shouldn't have. Ryan gives us that update, so he'll be in here in just a few minutes. Reminder, go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. How would you assess Joe Biden's acuity? Is he mentally fit? Is he slipping? Or is he mentally unfit? Let us know what you think. The Annie Fry YouTube channel. Wiggins in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Sing we now, sing for the year, sing
STS Armory, you find them online at sts-armory.com. Oh, I love these people. First of all, they're really good people, which makes it enjoyable to be able to talk to you about them. And I've sent people ask me, like, who's that person you talk about? What's that store? It's STS Armory. They're in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, a great gun store in Illinois. Man, when you need your people for a certain particular purchase in your life, these are them. These are they. Oh, I'll figure it out on the break. STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. They're corner of Highway 111 and South Drive. They offer conceal and carry classes. I've sent family members to them, and they raved about how great the classes were, how helpful, how comfortable and confident they came out of those classes with. They have ladies-only classes there as well, if that makes you a little more comfortable. They do drawing from concealment. Very helpful to know. They do off-body carry courses, advanced classes, instructor-level classes. They also have firearms, of course, for you to purchase, to check out, questions that you want to ask. They've got answers for them. Questions you don't even know to ask, they've got answers for those as well. They're good people. They've got a great store, and they're waiting for you to come by and say hello. Tell them Annie sent you. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS. Give them a call. Ask them your questions. Visit them in store, sts-armory.com.
Tip for everybody that, especially this summer, if you haven't had your air conditioner checked, if you're getting into a space where you're changing the filter and it's very hot, meaning like you have to go up in the attic or side area on your house, and if you just slide a filter out and then slide another filter in, and that's how you change your filters, try this. Put duct tape where you put your filter in that unconditioned space in the attic. If that's what you're doing, you're just going up and you're sliding in there. It's sucking a lot of hot air into your system. It's actually making your air conditioner not able to cool. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, that's bartinman.com. It's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
How would you assess Joe Biden's acuity? That is today's YouTube live chat poll. Type in Annie Fry on YouTube and it will come up along with the stream and you can view it there. Let us know what you think about Joe Biden's acuity. Is he mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? 1248. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
June 27th, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, no scripts.
Well, make my day, pal.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's issuing it. I wonder whether or not he shows up.
Only one place you can hear it. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It was dark.
Wiggins. Hello there. So we are all in the room theme park enthusiasts, as I understand it.
No. I gotta edit that.
Okay.
I am not looking to go to any other theme parks.
You like one theme park, but you're very much an enthusiast about that theme park.
Maybe.
I mean, I am too.
Let me put it this way. I am conflicted, but yes.
Totally understand. But as far as being there, whether it be there or for us, I think, well, for me.
Where it's like Voldemort.
And I know, we'll not say the name.
Which I now understand because I've watched the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, which means you have to go to Universal and ride those rides.
I just want you to know that now that you've brought up today my love and affection for Disney World specifically, that I will get no less than a dozen emails telling me how big of a piece of crap I am today.
As you should.
Thank you. They're all from you, too, which just really makes this like a full circle thing.
Yes.
Brian's like, I got to go. During Stephen Moore, he's just going to be beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm a piece of crap.
And look, you have to live in that conflict. And that's where you can enjoy yourself, but also people can.
You were like a bad fortune cookie.
I am not. That is not true. Although your magic numbers are 8, 7, 48, and 90.
Wait, I'm going to write those down and buy a lottery.
Yep.
Say that again.
8, 7, 48, and 90. I don't know if it goes up to 90, but
what's the Powerball?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It seems a little high.
I also don't think it goes 8, 7. I think it goes.
I'm not sure I said the same thing the second time as I did the first time.
Somebody rewind the tape and tell me what lottery numbers, and I will go play the lottery with those numbers.
And whichever one it is, I'm going to say, I said it different the other time.
I just want you to know that if I win, you get nothing.
That's fine. That's fine, because I will just at least be secure in the fact that I can criticize you.
No, maybe I'll buy you a wardrobe.
A wardrobe like new clothes, or a wardrobe like a
both. Depends on how big I win.
Holds clothes.
We'll put it right there. And then
Why?
So I can pick out outfits for you to wear during the show. This could be great. I hope your numbers win.
I mean, as long as they're super expensive, like if they're from Nordstrom, fine. If they're from the discount rack at Savers,
He's
no
like,
thanks.
I'm cool with that too.
That's gonna, yeah. Well, no, because she's gonna pick out costumes. It's not gonna be clothes.
Yeah, you're gonna come in here looking like Cuban Pete.
Yeah, she says clothes. She means like reindeer outfits.
There's a lot of inference there.
Okay, well,
do you have a segment?
The whole point of me bringing up theme parks is that 28 people were trapped upside down on an amusement park ride in Oregon this weekend. 20.
Not Oregon. That's the worst part. No, I'm kidding.
I know. 20 minutes. And they read this ride that's called like Atmosphere or something. And it goes up. It's one of those Superman type rides where it just goes straight up. But this one, it flips you upside down before it drops you.
Jeez.
At the very top, it flipped them upside down. They just sat there and it froze. So for 20 minutes, 28 people were stuck upside down, and they interviewed them. They're all like, I thought I was basically like, I'm going to die. This thing's just going to drop right now. I'm dead. They all survived. They're all okay. But man, that's why I don't ride those
All
rides.
I would want to know is, I would be like, is there any way that these seats open up? That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Like because they got to push a button and things to get out.
Yeah, keep that guy away from the button.
But I mean, I would be contemplating all the ways I was about to die.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I have a whole different lot on life on scary things now that I flew with the Blue Angels.
Mm-hmm.
My kids have asked me about, would you do this? Would you do that? And if like my initial reaction is no, that'd be, they were talking about, we've been planning going to Hawaii, not this summer, but the next summer. Would you take a helicopter and go island to island or whatever? And my initial reaction was no. But like,
no.
How lame would it be to be like, no, I'm not going to do that so I can see Hawaii when I was doing the Cobra sneak attack. What was it called?
I don't remember.
What?
The Cobra maneuver.
I don't know.
The Cobra sneak attack.
I know that it involves 7.5 G's and vomit. That's what I know.
So you'd be fine. You'd get to the chopper.
Yeah, I think I would have to. Especially if he was there.
Record summer heat may mean record electricity bills. You guys dealing with this yet? High electric bills?
Yeah. I mean,
we all are to an extent.
They've been high for a while.
They have been high for a while. There's an article here that is suggesting a few ways for you from USA Today to keep your electricity bills a little bit lower, a couple of the suggestions are stretch your dollars by raising the temperature just slightly. I mean, this one seems pretty obvious. If you don't cool your house quite as much, you're going to save a little bit of money.
Do you have to know how to read in order to come up with that idea?
Yeah, you do.
It's like this article is going to help people
USA
out.
Today. Yeah.
What's the article from?
USA Today.
USA Today is not being read by people who didn't consider that.
Yeah. Don't use this thing as much, and you'll save as much. Clean your AC. Now, I admit Bob Wiggins gets on me about this pretty often, that especially when you got the cottonwood stuff, that stuff gets really, really clogged, and it really can affect the blower. The next one is unclog your air vents, vacuum and dust the debris accumulated in around your air vents. Totally understandable. And then optimize ceiling fans. This one I forget about all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Ceiling fans.
Ceiling fans are huge.
I want to replace, Jared, you're listening. I'm going to put this on your list. Actually, no, I think it's on there. I think I already put it on the list. On our main floor, we have 2 rooms. They're diagonal from each other, where the TV is when we spend most of our time in there, and then the opposite diagonal room, it's like a formal dining room, but we turned it into an office with built-ins and stuff. And they both have super ugly light fixtures in it. But you get to the point when you buy a house, you're like, oh, when you're looking at the house, you're like, oh, I'm going to replace that, and you're like, I am not going to replace any of that. I don't want to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them's got one of those little dome, teeny tiny light fixtures. It's stupid. It sucks. The other one has this long chandelier that was meant to go over a dining room table. So they're super unfunctional, and I want to put them dysfunctional. No, they're not dysfunctional. Unfunctional.
Unfunctional, sure.
Put big ceiling fans in there,
Yeah.
and I think it will, especially opposite on the house, I think it will dramatically increase the air temperature comfortability.
Yeah, we use our fans all the time at our house. We turn those on.
You know what's gone
Springs
out of
there.
fashion is attic fans. Those things used to be in every house in the 60s.
I wouldn't really say they were in fashion.
Well, I think it's because they don't build ranches as much, and the new designs probably
Who
aren't
did
as...
your attic fan? Louis Vuitton?
314-513-0091, Air Comfort Service can do all that cleaning stuff for you, the duct work and everything, and they did that in my home. It's called an AeroSeal duct sealing, and our ability to cool the second floor where our bedrooms are versus the basement. It used to be like the frozen tundra in the basement, and we are sleeping upstairs with no blankets on.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the duct sealing thing, they clean it out, and then they seal the ductwork so the air doesn't seep out. It was great. I say that as a customer of
Good
theirs.
to know. We deal with that too. Real quick, I have to get this story in. Home prices are up more than 50% pretty much across the country. Many, many states, Colorado, Alabama, Wyoming, Nebraska, Georgia, Kansas, Vermont, which has a Republican governor right now, all talking about freezing or even some eliminating property taxes. Looking at you, Missouri and Illinois. Wanted to get that on the air before we ran out of
You
time.
can't bring up taxes in the state without Missouri people like, but do you pay personal property taxes? And I'm like, we pay all of the other ones times 2.
Hey, you know what, though? Get rid of that one, too.
But if you're in Missouri and
Yeah.
you get to elect your full statewides, be asking those questions.
Yep.
All right, let's stick around. Steve Moore's going to talk about no tax on tips and maybe no income tax when we come back.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law Offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
So I want to talk to you about Cassins. I love the people at Cassins. I am a customer of Cassins. Everybody who is in my personal inner circle who is looking to buy a vehicle, I say seriously, go to Cassins. Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram
in Glen Carbon, online at CassonsSons.com. That's CassonsSons.com. If you are in the market for a vehicle, you need to go to good people. And I really feel like now in the world of, shopping online, you can put your kind of car that you're looking for, you put it in there, and then you get a bunch of options. And then you go to some random person and spend tens of thousands of dollars and you hope that it's a good experience. For me, it's been worth my investment in the last 2 cars I purchased. I purchased one other one from Cassons previously because I know that when I go, they're going to give me the best deal that they can, and they're going to treat me right for the length of the time that I've owned that vehicle. That matters so much to me. I hope that you can check it out as well. It's easy to get to from 270 a mile north on 159, 618-800-2712, CassonsSons.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A new rule related to gender identity is blocked again in court. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a rule expanded by the U.S. Education Department aimed at protecting LGBTQ plus students.
A federal judge is blocking new Title IX regulations in Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, and West Virginia following a lawsuit from Republican attorneys general. Days earlier, a separate ruling blocked those rules from taking effect in Idaho, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Montana. Several other challenges are also expected after the Biden administration expanded Title IX protections to include gender identity as part of the definition of sex and gender. The Education Department says blocking the rule substantially harms the federal government's interest in preventing discrimination in federally funded programs.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Opponents say the Education Department is overstepping authority. For the second time in recent months, House Speaker Mike Johnson is at former President Trump's Florida home Mar-a-Lago, discussing a possible agenda if the former president wins back the White House.
The GOP hopes to have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House next year. One big issue for former President Trump is re-upping his expiring tax cuts. They may use a special budget tool to sidestep a filibuster. Also on the docket, bolstering foreign policy.
Fox's chat program, The Biden Campaign, launching the first in a new series of ads focusing on the former president's recent conviction in New York. The U.S. Surgeon General wants warning labels on social media.
When adolescents spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, we're seeing an association with a doubling of risk of anxiety and depression symptoms, and the average amount of use per day among adolescents is nearly 5 hours.
Dr. Vivek Murthy telling NBC's Today Show it's a contributing factor for a mental health emergency for young Americans and that warning labels could help many parents understand the risks. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
But pure summertime as we go through this Monday afternoon. It's pure summer all week long. Partly to mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. 99 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 75. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a pop afternoon storm, 93. Wednesday is sunny and 94. Thursday, 96. Friday, 99. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
I want to talk to you about Jen Teskey, my friend, but also the best realtor that I know here on the Illinois side of the river. She is with RE/MAX Alliance. She has a whole team behind her, and she knows. Jen knows. If you are interested in listing your home right now, have you seen home prices lately? You might want to consider putting your house on the market right now so that you can take advantage of the price wars that are going on right now. Whatever the situation is, when you call Jen Teskey and you say, thinking about listing my home, it might be in 6 months from now, a year from now. It might be like we needed to sell it yesterday. 618-541-1010. You reach out to her and just let her know where you're at. She's going to absolutely not pressure you into anything. She'll be able to answer your questions, help you get a really good, fair assessment of what you might be looking at for listing prices, timelines, all of that. Jen Teskey is a resource of great information, and she can really help you buying and selling in Illinois. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010, JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
If you're looking for all the comforts of home plus some in a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville, just off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. They'll even treat you to lunch. Set up your appointment today and tell them Mark Cox sent you. WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com. The race for Missouri's 15th Senate District is heating up. Mark Cox here. Join me Wednesday, June 26th at the Lodge of DePere. We're going to hold a candidate forum. The event is free, but space is limited. Register at 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
All Americans, both those who are well off and those who are near at the bottom of the income distribution, are better off now. Their wages have risen more than prices.
So Janet Yellen is there saying that everybody's more better off. Is that how you feel? Sometimes you get told these things by pundits or by politicians or by bureaucrats, and then you're like, it just doesn't really feel better. But I guess if you say so, I'll be happy. It's not the case for a lot of the Americans that I talk to, and certainly what we've noticed with our own personal economics in my own house. How do you feel? Let's talk to Steve Moore about it. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation and Trump economics advisor. Steve, welcome back to the show. Good to have you here. Janet Yellen.
Hi, Annie.
Janet Yellen says everybody's doing better.
Yeah, I don't think she's been to the grocery store or the gas pump recently. I mean, look, people are really struggling right now. The prices are higher. The incomes are not keeping up with the prices. And for Janet Yellen to say everything's just honky-dory is really out of touch with what's happening in real America and across the country. And people are financially stressed out. You know, I went to the McDonald's and my son the other day, to get 2 Big Mac meals. It was like I don't know, $25 or something like that. I mean, you can't even afford to go to McDonald's anymore, for goodness sakes.
It's wild. It's unaffordable for my family of 6, that's for sure. I mean, when Janet Yellen says,
if you have 6, you're talking about $100 to your kids at McDonald's.
I look at my kids and I'm like, some of you are going to have to go, or we're going to need to change the president. So they understand the economy, and of course, I'm joking. Janet Yellen says wages have risen faster than prices. I mean, to me, that's a factually checkable statistic point that she's making there. Is she right?
Well, they have in recent months, because inflation has come down and wages have come up a little bit, but not since the beginning of the Biden administration. For most people, their wages, most people have lost about somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,500 a year in purchasing power. So most families are about $2,500 poorer today than they were when Biden came into office. And by the way, we gained $6,000 of income under Trump. So this is a very, very dramatic difference between the Trump performance and the Biden performance. I mean, $6,000 gain per family after inflation under Trump and a $2,500 loss under Biden. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like they're not a bunch of economists running around to the grocery store right now, but when you're talking about your own personal checking account, your own personal credit card debt, which, as I understand, is going sky high for Americans right now, it's hard it's impossible to save. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with the credit card experience. What are Americans supposed to do when they hear people like Joe Biden himself or Janet Yellen say, it's actually doing really well, you just don't get it?
Well, if she really thinks this is as good as it gets, then I think, maybe people might want to look for a different president. I mean, I think I'm a little biased because I'm a Trump guy and I advise Trump on the economy. And I think he's done, he did amazing things for our economy when he was president. So, people have to be, if you believe that Janet Yellen is right and things are going well for the country, then you probably should vote for Joe Biden. You really should.
Let's see here. I have Andrew Bates, who is a White House deputy press secretary from last week when Donald Trump met with those congressional Republicans. Bates wrote, yesterday, congressional Republicans met to plot a 2025 agenda that involves historic tax increases on the middle class in the form of high tariffs, then gives tax handouts to big corporations that are overcharging Americans despite inflation decreasing. When he says that, Steve Moore, what do you hear?
Well, I mean, first of all, the fact is that the guy who is giving out tax favors has been the Biden administration. They give, the green energy. Yeah, how much money have they thrown at wind power, solar power? Look at how much money they've spent on, electric vehicles. Look how much money they've spent on the batteries. I don't know if you followed the story, but they had $7.5 billion for the electric charging stations they were going to buy, build all over the country. And so far, Pete Buttigieg has built about 8 of them. So, this is an incompetent administration. It can't seem to get anything done to really make, look what they've done to the military. Look what $7 billion and they built 8 charging stations.
Yeah.
And people have charging stations in their garage, for goodness sakes.
Just imagine what they could do if in November they got all Democrat leadership in the House and the Senate, what they'd be willing to invest in if they consider that to be an economic success. I have some questions here from people, or they're kind of going back and forth in our YouTube chat. And this brings this up to mind. People are talking back and forth about the Trump tax cuts and whether they're good or whether they're bad. And I thought, who better to explain to me in the super simplest terms, what do you define as the Trump tax cuts?
Well, that's a good question because people don't know what we did. And, I am a good person to ask about it because I helped write that bill with my buddy Larry Kudlow and Art Laffer and Steve Mnuchin. And we wrote a great tax bill. And that bill did several things. First of all, for an average income person, you saved about $2,000 on your tax bill, on your federal income taxes. That's just a lot.
Yes.
That's $2,000 savings. And then the second thing we did is when Trump came into office, the United States had the highest business tax rate in the world. We were at, 40%, and the rest of the world was at like 20%. So as Trump, when I remember showing him these charts, he said this is like a Head Start program for every country we compete with. And so we eliminated that advantage that other countries had. And all of a sudden you saw manufacturing and plants built here in the U.S. as Trump once said, it used to be manufacturing moved from Michigan to Mexico City, and now you had plants moving from Mexico to the United States because we became a good place to invest in. The next thing we did was we doubled the standard deduction so that business families didn't have to itemize all their deductions. Keep shoe boxes of receipts for this or that or the other thing. You just check the box. In other words, you got I think it's a $25,000 standard deduction now, which was another very positive thing because it simplified the tax system. And then we allowed companies to, you can tell I like this bill because we did so many positive things.
That's why I'm asking
The next thing we did was we allowed businesses to write off their capital purchases. So if a business built a factory or they bought some machinery or computers or whatever it is to become more we allowed them to write those off immediately. So you got a surge in business investment. And by the way, the companies paid more corporate tax after our tax cut than they did before because we got so much more business generated. So those are the kinds of things that were very positive. Oh, also the other thing was if you lived in a really high tax state, well, some of your listeners are in Illinois.
I am.
And if you're like a millionaire, if you're in Illinois, if you're a billionaire or millionaire living in Illinois, you were able to deduct your high state income taxes. We basically said no more. You're not going to be able to deduct your state, state and local income taxes, and that that was a big tax increase on rich people. So it was a very very successful bill in every regard, and somebody's got to explain to me why we should. This idea that it was a big tax for the rich. The rich actually paid more tax. Did you know that?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
They paid more.
They're all around me
percentage of
complaining.
The income tax paid by the rich went up from 44% to 48% after the Trump tax cut. So how's that a tax cut for the rich?
One question, I know we don't have you for much longer, but I did want to ask you, because I'm seeing this virally on X, and I've done it myself, and I want to know what you think about Donald Trump talking about not taxing tips anymore for service.
I love that idea.
Tell me,
I love it.
Is it doable?
I saw Trump on Thursday when he was in Washington for the Business Roundtable meeting, so I got a few minutes to chat with him. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I hadn't seen him before the trial because he couldn't really see people. They put him in that trial for that completely rigged trial. But in any case, so I had a few minutes to chat with him before he went on, in front of all these CEOs, and I just said, Mr. President, I love your idea of not tipping, and he kind of smiled, and I just said, well,
not taxing tips.
By the way, I said, Mr. President, where'd you get that idea? And he kind of smiled, and he said, well, a waitress told me about that.
Well, there you go.
That's a good place. That's a good place to get good advice.
Is it doable? Could it happen?
Yes. Why should we tax people for tips? You get a tip. My first job was parking cars. And I was a car parker of L.A., at weddings and at restaurants and at, events. And we made all our money, Annie, from tips.
Yeah.
And, so you would really work hard for those tips.
How much better would the service industry be if you could be tipped handsomely and keep it? Yes. Completely.
That's right. So I love that idea. And by the way, it goes to blue-collar workers, and it goes to people who are working hard, and you get paid for your performance. And what's not to like about that?
I think it's fantastic. I was hoping you wouldn't be like, it's a great idea, but it's not doable. You don't seem to have that mindset.
No, it's doable. We're going to do it when we get elected.
Amen. All right. Steve Moore, thank you. We appreciate talking to you. Look forward to having you again next week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You
Bye.
as well. Steve Moore is a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation. Listen, I did this weekend, and I'm encouraging you to do this as well. I don't know how many of you all are X users, Twitter users. Twixter is what I started calling it right when that change happened. I don't know why I haven't continued to do that. If you go onto Twitter right now, you can follow an account called Tax Free Tips 2024. Tax Free Tips 2024. And the cool thing about this is there's a lot of people posting images of their receipts, and on the receipt they've left a tip and they say vote Trump, he's not going to tax tips or something like that. But if you on your receipt leave the hashtag at Tax Free Tips 2024 and people go to that account, There is a video pinned to the top of that account of Donald Trump talking about not taxing tips. So it's not just like, okay, yeah, sure, Donald Trump's not going to tax tips. I'm sure you think that. Hashtag MAGA, here's your tip, whatever. This takes him directly to Donald Trump communicating this very idea. So you can just write at tax-free tips 2024 along with whatever message, that hopefully a kind one, that you want to on that receipt, and let these servers know. And I read a tweet, and I'll repeat it, and I say that with the caveat of anybody can write anything on X, but it was from a high-profile account that did this, and they said that when they did that to the bartender said, I've gotten 100 of these today. Think about the power behind that. People writing that down. It's kind of a quiet way. You're doing it with a tip. You better be tipping well, too, when you do this, folks. You leave that tip, you leave a message. It's a positive way to send a positive message about a positive outcome that could go directly to people in the service industry. I have been a table busser at old PK's restaurant in Edwardsville. Is my first job that I had. And I worked for 10% divided among all of the servers. They tipped out 10% at the end of the shift. And if there were 2 servers, we got 50% of the 10%, whatever. I worked as a cocktail waitress. I worked as a banquet server. So I've done the service industry thing. If you are somebody who has ever worked in service before, and I hope that everybody has, because it just helps refine you as a human being. Imagine going to a lot of these different places where you are served. And imagine that person is working to earn that tip. Because I don't really feel like, especially in the tip culture that we have today, you just are supposed to tip 20% on your drive-through food, or you walk up and you order and then you stand there and wait for them to hand you your food and they want a tip. And there's like a super high-pressure situation when you're standing there and they're like, oh, now it's just going to ask you if you'd like to tip. There's a lot of pressure behind it. Imagine in the service industry where you actually are sitting down at a table, where you actually are placing an order. You ask for your steak to come with green beans instead of mashed potatoes. That's what I do. And so you're making little alterations here or there, or maybe you order a Diet Pepsi that costs you like $3.60, and it's a small glass and it only gets refilled once because you had to ask for it. A server who understands the value of great service, who knows that they are going to get the full value of that tip, are they going to work harder? The good ones will. And the good ones are going to help increase the spend of people who come to these restaurants. They're going to, if you provide better service, if you're like, oh man, every time we go to Applebee's, we get the best service. And you compare that to, ABC restaurant down the street where every time you go there, it's like they throw the food at you and they can't wait for you to leave or whatever. I don't know that restaurant, but I hope there's no ABC restaurant in the area. I've made up a vague name on purpose. ABC restaurant in like Fenton is going, hey, I don't know of a real one. If you know that every time you go to a restaurant you get bad service or you get bad food, don't you stop going there? That's like good old-fashioned capitalism. Incentivize these servers to earn a tip, which is up to you to just write a number down on a piece of paper, and they get to keep it. I see a lot of good coming out of it. Go on to Twitter or X right now. Do me this favor and follow at taxfreetips2024. And Scott Pressler, he put this out there and retweeted it and stuff. I retweeted it. And I think it's a really cool way to make an impact in a area where normally politics isn't involved. Because the policy that you're advocating for there, it's a good one. And I'm so happy to hear. I wasn't sure what Steve Moore would say about that, but do you like it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. His voice got higher with each yes. That makes me pretty happy. Let's take a quick break. Get Ryan Wiggins back in the studio. And we need your vote on the YouTube poll. How would you assess Joe Biden's mental acuity? Mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? I'm here to tell you that one of these answers was getting its butt kicked earlier, and it has taken it's kind of taken off. There's a surge. There's a group of people. I bet there's something maybe posted out there is like, hey, we need to go influence this poll. So make sure that your voice is heard. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Let's talk about the Retirement Advisory Group and making sure that you, who are sitting at the cusp of retirement, working, and you can just start thinking about, having those summers off again, like when you were a kid. And now in retirement, you just get to have your summers off again, and your falls and your winters and your springs, and you get to do what you want. If you have saved accordingly, if you've planned accordingly, and especially with Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group, if you've transitioned accordingly. Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw at the Retirement Advisory Group will sit down and create for you a personalized, structured income plan. This is so that you know what's going to happen. And the thing that kind of causes the worry, the anxiety, the fear about leaving the workforce and going into retirement is the unknown. What you're worried about is what you don't know. So figure it out and get the answers that will provide you that peace of mind for a worry-free retirement. Reach out to Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Sign up online at retirementkey.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-505-8196. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-505-8196. 800-505-8196. That's 800-505-8196.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Monday afternoon. So how are the people in Milwaukee reacting to what Donald Trump allegedly said about Milwaukee? My friend Dan O'Donnell, who does a talk show in that city, joins us.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
When every one of them is giving up and giving in, tell me, in this house of mine, nothing ever comes without a consequence of cost. Tell me, will the stars align? Will heaven step in? Will it save us from our sin? Will it? Cause this house of mine stands strong. That's the price you pay. Leave behind your heart and cast away. Just another product of today. Rather be the hunter than the prey. And you're standing on the edge, face up, cause
I think it's also important to really keep in mind, Jonathan, during these challenging times on the foreign policy front, on the global front. Can you imagine having Donald Trump back in the White House trying to manage all of this? I mean, President Biden's a seasoned foreign policy pro. He served, of course, as the chair on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for a long time. He has these relationships with world leaders that go very, very deep. So we're going to be reinforcing the fact that that's an important attribute that the president has, going over the next 5 months. But at the same time, we're going to be working hard for every single vote.
Yeah, we played that last week. It's about a week old. And the Biden folks are like, can you imagine if Donald Trump had to deal with the stuff going on in the world? Joe Biden, man, he's got so much experience. Yeah, it's father time that you're talking about right there. But it's not really playing out with Joe Biden like it's a huge asset. Why am I playing this clip after it's old for a week? Fox News reports Israeli officials warn that the country is on the brink of a full-scale war with Hezbollah if the terrorist group continues to increase its aggression in northern Israel. The IDF made the warning on Sunday, just a day before Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was set to meet with a top aide to President Biden, Amos Hochstein. Biden's administration is pushing Israel to avoid a war in Lebanon, but IDF officials continue to highlight the outsized threat posed by Hezbollah compared to Hamas. The IDF spokesperson warned on Sunday, Hezbollah's increasing aggression is bringing us to the brink of what could be a wider escalation. I am just so glad that it's Joe Biden and not Donald Trump. I feel better because of that.
I think what's important here is not the facts.
Is that it? That's the statement. And scene.
It's what the White House is saying about those facts. I think you guys are missing the bigger point here. The White House has this figured out as far as messaging goes. You guys just have to listen a little harder and stop looking at what's happening.
We are committed to the diplomatic process. However, Hezbollah's aggression is bringing us closer to a critical point in the decision-making regarding our military activities in Lebanon, he told the Biden representative. Hochstein later met with both Netanyahu and Israeli President Isaac Herzog. Both Israeli figures thanked Hochstein for meeting with them, but made no promise regarding a war in Lebanon. So, good try, Biden administration.
Well, I mean, it's not as if there is a war yet. So, one is just being threatened.
Donald Trump said in that Logan Paul interview that I encourage you to watch. If you haven't seen it yet, find it and watch it. Donald Trump said that he would have the war between Russia and Ukraine ended before he took office.
I don't doubt that. Here's the thing, though. I just can't.
That's some big Don energy.
Before the White House and all of their messengers were saying this, I would have thought, you know what, maybe it is better to have Donald Trump in office. After listening to it, I don't know now. Maybe it is better that he's not there because, like they said, I can't imagine what it would be like with him there. It's not as if he was president for 4 years.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured. We'll never forget lying around and him lying around, actually. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
God bless America. In fact, God save America.
The fact is, we're not safer now than we were 4 years ago. But we are better managed than we were then.
I disagree. I think you're...
By the messengers.
To quote Ryan from earlier, let's set aside the facts, or whatever it is that you said. It's the gig is up. The jig is up.
Jig. Yeah, it's the jig.
They cannot get away with lying to us anymore, and we cannot sit idly by and try to just turn the blind eye to the idea that Joe Biden let me just answer the question today, completely mentally unfit to do the job. Why it hasn't happened yet, I don't know. If the roles were reversed here and Donald Trump was displaying it's so ridiculous to think about what would be happening right now. Forget about what the media would be doing. Forget about what his political detractors would be doing. There would be people lining up to write books and cash in as fast as they possibly could be. The books wouldn't even be finished before they were published. And people would be looking to tell all of the stories of what's going on in the background. This is what they're willing to allow us to see and to hear. What are we not seeing? What have we not heard? What do we not know? It's politics. It's a song and dance. It's a presentation. You orchestrate every single maneuver that you possibly can. You orchestrate the positioning of the American flag on the stage. You orchestrate the positioning of the tie when you're delivering the speech, or the color of the blazer for the occasion. Whatever, every single detail that you have control over, you work to control to your favor. And this is the best that they can present. This is I am overstressing this because when people are looking at Joe Biden and they're going, oh, yeah, like the first clip that I played from earlier today, who was that from the Biden campaign? Co-chair Mitch Landry, something?
Yeah, I know.
I think Donald Trump is a joke. I mean, when this guy, when his lips are moving, he's lying. And then when he tries to accuse somebody else of speaking improperly, he can't keep two thoughts in his mind.
What the hell is that? That Donald Trump can't hold two thoughts in his brain at one time. He holds hours of thoughts in his brain at one time and delivers them to crowds of thousands and thousands of people. I mean, the abject deceit that this co-chair of the Biden campaign is trying to shove down your throat while saying that Donald Trump lies all the time while he's in the midst of such a whopper that it's laughable?
I would encourage Americans to go listen to Donald Trump's full speeches and try to put that word spaghetti together. And I wonder why anybody is questioning Joe Biden's mental acuity. Donald Trump can't string two sentences together.
You are an idiot. That's the only explanation. You are a moron. You cannot be reasoned with because you are so committed to the scene. You are so committed to the ruse and so desperate for the power that you think I'm that dumb? You're a moron. There's no other way around it that they just are so separate from the idea of actual reality. They've gotten away with these sorts of deceptions for so long because the morons that are in the mainstream media, like
Frickin' Morning Joe Scarborough, dude, that guy is not well. He's not a happy man. And you can tell because Mika,
Oh, yeah?
no, she's
Okay.
not a happy woman. They are professionally whiny and upset and angered and better than you. Which is really shocking that nobody watches them. But anyway.
That is true. You know, it is hard to hear these clips because it's multiple messengers. They're saying different things, but they're all basically taking what you know to be true and just saying, I think I'm going to turn it completely around. It's really hard to address people, like you're saying, who are speaking that way because either A, they know they're lying and you're not really going to get anywhere because they already know where they're coming from, or B, they actually don't know that they're lying. They really believe those things. And it would be like walking out on the street of St. Louis right now and saying, you know what, I want to talk to you, sir. Let's debate something. He's like, okay, first of all, we have to establish the facts. It is nighttime right now and the sun is not out. You go, wait a minute now. I was going to talk about something else about the city, but how do we even begin to have a discussion?
Well, the thing that's interesting to me, too, is if they're lying, they're really bad at lying because in that clip, he goes, go watch the full clips of Donald Trump's speeches. And I'm like, yes, go watch the full clips of Donald Trump's speeches. Don't watch what the media feeds you. Don't watch how they cut it together and say, oh, look, he was talking about sharks whenever he was talking about electric boats, and it was a joke. Go watch the full clips. I dare you. I dare you to watch it and then come away saying, this guy's not mentally fit. Donald Trump isn't crazy. And I don't know, like I said, whenever they give a good piece of advice like that to go watch the clips, either they think you're too stupid to understand, too lazy to go actually watch them.
You're not going to watch the clips.
Or they're stupid.
They are angry. They are self-loathing. And the whole thing is they don't believe what they're selling, but they believe in selling it to you because that's how you keep it going. All that matters is power and money, but money comes from power, which comes from money. And they're willing to and have it. The funniest part about this to me, and usually I'd say, well, not funny, haha. But yeah, this is funny, haha, too. It's ironic and I'm laughing at it now. Like laughing at it in its face is the idea that for so long, the media has gone along with this, the game, the show. They've been told in some cases, here's how this is going to go. They've participated, they've brainstormed, they've freaking produced fake subcommittee hearings in prime time. Like, these are realities. They've gone along with it for so long. The truth was never a part of the equation because they manufactured truths. They created it. They produced it. They sold it. And Americans believed in it enough that it materialized in votes. But Joe Biden is such an abject disaster that you can't sell it any longer. But they haven't stopped trying to play the game. They're like, just look more intently into the camera. Just speak with more indignation into the microphone. Just continue to explain to people how wrong Donald Trump is, how evil Donald Trump is. Just keep going with it. Do not break. Do not suggest anything otherwise. But now that we have this hugely, hugely broader media, so many more places that you can get information from. I mean, YouTube is full of people who are content creators for all sorts of things. There are people on there who are conservative. There are people on there who are liberal. But the majority of people on there have nothing to do with politics. You've got people on X who are contributing on X on both. I mean, is Don Lemon still? He's done on X, right?
I think so.
We would never know.
Yeah.
If a tree falls in the woods. You've got people creating, and if you can get a high enough profile, people want to know what you think about things. People want to see what you can present. There's too much out there to contradict the steady flow of everywhere I turn on, they say Donald Trump is an evil person. I guess he's an evil person. They'd know. They're in the position to know. You watch Joe Biden like a Roomba on the stage, moving around trying to find his way off. And then the former Democratic president who served as the president when Joe Biden was the vice president. I mean, it is the most dramatic example of Joe Biden's unfitness to date, in my opinion. You have all ushered grandma or grandpa or mom or dad out of a room, into a car, down some stairs. You've all done it because you know what would happen if they had to do that 50 times on their own. Would they make it 50 times on their own? Probably not. And you don't want the president of the United States falling face first, or the worst case scenario, just standing on the front of the stage and not remembering it's time to leave. Their consistent message, the game plan has to change because nobody's buying it anymore. But it's really funny, like laughable, haha, in your face funny that they still think that they can sell that to you, because I'm like, okay, you think I'm this dumb. I think you're pretty dumb for thinking I'm this dumb.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on cable news and you're like, you know what, I haven't thought about it that way. I would like you to invest in a couple of my businesses and you can own 49% of it every single time. It'll be great for you, I promise.
Let's take a quick break. We'll get to some of your thoughts on this poll. I am 100% in team Joe Biden is mentally unfit. And that was like, mentally unfit was like almost unanimous at the beginning of this. Some people who think maybe something different now in the YouTube poll. So we got to know what you think. Go to the vote. Annie Fry YouTube channel and the live chat poll. Let's get what Brad and Ryan think next. Don't go away.
Dark trees shadowing what's happening.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Without the peace, face a bit of the truth. The truth. That's the price you pay. Leave behind your heart and cast away. Just another product of today. Rather be the hunter than the prey. And you're standing on the edge, face up, 'cause you're a natural.
All right, I just looked at my phone, and it says that it's 97 degrees. That's cute, 97 degrees. I might even say 0.1 degrees. I don't know.
Oh, that is super cute.
Hot.
I mean, that's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. But it says that the real feel is 108 outside right now.
Dial doesn't even go that high.
No, must be a lie. It's very hot outside. It's going to be hot for some time. Your air conditioning is going to be working overtime. I just want to use this opportunity along with Air Comfort Service to remind you, whoever you call, make sure you get somebody out to check on your loved ones and their air conditioning unit, tune it up, check if it needs any maintenance or anything like that, because when the air conditioners are out working this hard, if they are not up to snuff, you're going to know it this week. Air Comfort Service is very, very good to their customers when it comes time to replace an AC unit. I have replaced my AC unit, and they helped me very much so with that process, whether it was maintenance or doing the replacement, giving me my options. 314-513-0091. Put that number in your phone in case you have a loved one that you need to have checked on as well, or your own. 314-513-0091. Just a reminder that if you are interested in having them come out and have your AC checked, reach out to them. Their Comfort Service heating, cooling, and insulation team will come out, and you can have your HVAC system maintained for as little as $19 a month. That gives you that peace of mind whenever it does get extremely hot like it is right now, that you don't have anything to worry about. AC is going to show up for you, keep you in your comfort zone the whole time. Don't be left in the heat and the hot. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law Offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
How would you assess Joe Biden's acuity? Would he be mentally fit? Would he be slipping? Would he be mentally unfit? I thought there was a clear runaway with this, but Annie says that it's a little closer than we all would have thought. So go vote and let us know why you're voting, what you're voting. It is the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. How would you assess Joe Biden's acuity? 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. It's hot outside, but we appreciate you spending some of your time here on 97.1. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. And the Annie Fry Show, glad that you're here. We do a poll every day on our YouTube live broadcast and podcast of the show. So if you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, in the live chat portion of the broadcast, you're going to see this question. How would you assess Joe Biden's mental acuity? Mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? What do you think, Ryan?
Mentally unfit. I do not believe this man is the same as he was even a year ago, let alone 4 years ago, or as vice president. He has slipped so far that the world makes jokes about it. I mean, we've seen clips from foreign comedy shows about Joe Biden not being able to get off a stage. Mm-hmm. I think it's very obvious that he's mentally unfit.
I'm more worried about what the world is doing when they're not making jokes about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, what's a leader of a nation like China doing right now, looking at America going,
They better hurry. We're running out of time.
They are running out of time if they, well, who knows? 4 more years.
I don't know. Maybe, who knows what they're doing? Maybe they're infiltrating the country.
Also could be possible. Maybe they're doing things a little quieter.
The a wild statement? And yet it's legit happening.
It's really happening.
There are people infiltrating the United States with the worst of intentions.
Yeah, we don't know the amount of people crossing the border that we don't know where they're from, or we do know where they're from or what their motives are. It is astounding that is not a concern for the president of the United States. The executive branch of the country is just ignoring it and encouraging it.
Yeah, but like China's still infiltrating the country in ways that isn't just crossing the border. I mean, you had like spies very close to senators and representatives. You got them buying farmland next to U.S. bases, quote unquote farmland. It's all these other things that's going on. They're buying into American companies wanting a piece of that action over in China, have to give over a large portion of the control of their company to the Chinese Communist Party. They're getting their tendrils into everything.
You could say they're cordyceps. That is from the show Last of Us.
Maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Does this have to do with lesbians impregnating each other through seances in Star Wars?
No.
We can talk about that if you want to, but this is not that.
Well, that's literally all I know and hope to ever know about it. So
that's all I know about Star Wars, the entire franchise.
Yeah, Luke's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I rode the Millennial Falcon once. Millennial Falcon. I think that's what it's called. It was fun at Disney, but that's it.
Is that what it's called?
No.
What's it called?
The Millennium Falcon.
Millennial. It was the Millennial Falcon when he did it.
I was with a couple of Gen Zers. They called it the Gen Z Falcon.
I don't know anything about that place, so I wouldn't know. Is he mentally fit, unfit, or slipping?
Oh, he is mentally unfit.
How long has he been mentally unfit?
Oh, I think he's been mentally unfit since he ran for president.
Before he became the president.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember, this is before I was on the show, I remember listening to 97.1 and all the different hosts and everybody talking about this. Like, there's no way this man is going to continue to run. He's got to drop out. And they would just play clip after clip after clip of him just being absolutely racist, mushy-brained, all these other things. And I will say, he is way worse now. Way worse.
Yes. Hang on a second, though. You know how often Hunter Biden would refer to prostitutes in racist terms, and nobody ever brings that up? Just a little side note. I know it's not the point of the segment.
I'm talking about when people have a problem, they've got your number, they knock on your door. Not only you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without. Can you fix my such and such?
That was the wrong clip. But that was from a year ago. I mean, his speech patterns. I'm looking for things that are like showing, because I think the speech pattern is the most telling thing.
Mm-hmm. You can hear it.
Going back to what Biden campaign co-chair Mitch Landrieu said, Trump can't string two sentences together. Let me reiterate here. Not only can he string two sentences together, the sentences are forever long.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to string two sentences together because it's just one sentence. It's just commas and ellipses.
An entire speech. That's just one sentence. Mitch, your response. Oh, you don't have one.
Joe says, way to defend prostitutes, Ryan. I don't know that you're defending prostitution per se. You're just basically defending a person's right to exist in a nationality without being defined by the worst way that you can define that.
I don't know that I'm doing any of that. I'm just saying that if this were Don Jr. that they found was like having sex with women all the time and referring to them in racist terms based on their nationality, you definitely would know about that. And it happened all the time. They don't even care. It's like a side note to the story.
The first thing I searched was Biden gas, and then I thought, that's probably not the right thing to search.
I'd listen to whatever that was, though. Whatever you find. I'm here for it.
Remember like a week ago when he squatted down and we literally still don't know if he pooped his pants?
Yeah, we don't know.
It's in the realm of possibility.
I would say it seems more likely than not.
4 more years, folks. 4 more years. We'll be right back.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO. If
you listen to the Annie Fry Show, you've heard me talk about rapid rental renovations, but have you visited their website, murphycleanoutservices.com? You might be in the midst of a total rehab on a rental or even on a personal house. If it's vacant, they can do a lot of the work for you. In fact, they can do all the work for you. It's just a matter of what you want them to do. Or if you've had tenants move out and you need to get that place back up to speed, get it back on the market, Rapid Rental Renovations know exactly what you're doing because they know your business. They do rentals. And so they know that you're not going to look for like marble countertops. You're looking to get that place up and running and back on the market. So they know your price range. Get bids from them. You're going to like them a lot, but you need to have them ready for if you're not in that spot right now. If you have rentals and you're like, yeah, I know that'll happen at some point, put their number in your phone right now for when that does happen. Go to murphycleanoutservices.com. They can do all the work for you. All the numbers right there, murphycleanoutservices.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The White House calls it a charm offensive. Lisa Brady, Fox News, as Russia's president, fresh off his reelection, visits North Korea. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says the U.S. is concerned about a deepening relationship between the two countries.
Not just because of the impacts it's going to have on the Ukrainian people, because we know North Korean ballistic missiles are still being used to hit Ukrainian targets, but because there could be some reciprocity here that could affect security on the Korean Peninsula.
Both Russia and North Korea deny that Pyongyang is supplying weapons for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The head of NATO visits the White House this afternoon for a meeting with President Biden, focusing in part on support for Ukraine. The White House accusing Republicans of using misleading videos to attack President Biden, raising more concern about his age.
And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre citing manipulated videos. This after footage of the president at recent events appearing confused or being guided to a different location, including by former President Obama at a star-studded fundraiser in L.A. over the weekend. The Biden campaign launching a new ad called Character Matters.
The Biden campaign is spending so much money, $50 million just in June, which only has 2 more weeks in it because they want all of the national conversation ahead of next week's debate to be about Donald Trump's criminal convictions. And there was a thought the Biden campaign would shy away from the convicted criminal label now that the president's son is also a convicted criminal, but that's not happening for now. President Biden is blowing up the Supreme Court, warning about future Trump appointees.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. The Trump campaign says the new ad shows the former president's New York hush money trial was always meant to be election interference. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
But pure summertime as we go through this Monday afternoon. It's pure summer all week long. Partly to mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. 99 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 75. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a pop afternoon storm, 93. Wednesday is sunny and 94. Thursday, 96. Friday, 99. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All right, let's talk about Ruler Foods and how they have delivery now. This is convenience and savings combined. I don't think that I have two more favorite things as a consumer than convenience and savings. Being able to have your affordable groceries delivered right to your door. Reach out to rulerfoods.com. You can learn about how to set up a delivery. You can learn about how to find the Ruler Foods closest to you. Really seriously, go into the Ruler Foods near you. If you've never been in, if you've driven past and thought, I'm not going to make that stop today. I've got my place. Just trust me one time. You've got 30 minutes to spare on a Monday afternoon or maybe a Saturday morning. Go into Ruler Foods and see what they have to offer, because you will quickly understand why so many people have made the switch to do their weekly grocery shopping at Ruler Foods. The savings are fantastic. The stores are clean. They're easy to shop. The name brands you loved and the Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. For delivery, for the one closest to you, it's all online. rulerfoods.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at biobalancehealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. Biobalancehealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because you clearly have a refined palate. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Monday. Happy Father's Day post +1. Did you have a good Father's Day?
Yeah, it was great. We went out to eat last night, and we watched a movie by, I think, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh, I've heard of this. What is it called?
The Watchers.
Is it in the theater?
Yeah.
Did you take your kids?
No, just me and her. But there were some kids in the theater. I'm like, what the?
Your Father's Day experience was to get rid of your kids?
Yeah, it was great. My father, who is also a dad, watched them for me. And that was my gift to him.
Your gift to your father was take care of your kids?
No, not take care of them, but yes, take care of them. But also enjoy them. You know, their presence. They love their grandpa. And to me, there's no greater gift I could have given my dad than that. And then I got to watch a horror movie.
Very, very nice of you.
Thank you very much. I also, I want credit for this, though. I got some
I like how you want credit for this, but not everything you just said.
Well, you just kind of took a dump on that, so I'm like, okay, clearly that wasn't great.
I am a lady.
Hopefully he wasn't thinking that same way, but I felt that way. We also, a full family assembly line, we all got like a pound and a half of ocean-caught shrimp, the big ones. And we peeled them, deveined them, washed them.
You clipped the part where he just said the big ones because he said it in his in a world voice.
Yeah. We got some shrimp. They were the big ones. They were like you'd never seen prawn before.
That's what Donald Trump would say. Like you've never seen. Huge. Will you do a shrimp ad from Donald Trump?
As if Donald Trump were saying
Can you imagine?
Someone else were reading
Joe
it.
Scarborough and Meek would be like, they were shrimp. How big could they possibly be? They're named Shrimp for all. The guy is delusional.
He speaks in nothing but oxymorons.
Yeah.
There cannot be a jumbo shrimp, Donald. You want me to do an ad about shrimp?
I don't care where you take it.
Okay.
Just take it from right here.
Okay. Here's like a few words. Throw those into AI. And we'll see what happens.
Do a hit piece on him.
A hit piece on Trump from the perspective of shrimp?
Get a Trump AI voice. No. Get a Trump AI voice talking about how they were huge, big, beautiful shrimp.
You know what? I think that they have deliberately not put out
We
Trump,
can get an impersonator.
Biden,
It doesn't have
Kamala Harris.
It doesn't even have to be good. It just has to suggest.
Man, well, if you want somebody that's not good, there's plenty of those out
beautiful shrimp. Yes. Yeah.
Give me Alec Baldwin.
It just has to be close enough to be like the person listening going, is that guy doing Trump? And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he's talking about shrimp.
We're not looking to be impressed with the impersonation. I'm looking to be impressed with your ability to do something with it.
Okay.
Also, the opportunity to be let down.
Which you will be. You talk about a shrimp and letdowns. Putting two words together here. Last January, I surprised my wife with a trip, if you recall, to Universal Studios because she loves
and
Harry
Disney,
Potter.
don't lie.
And
Don't
Disney.
act like you're not involved.
Oh my gosh, yes, and we saw you guys there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course, you would remember that. While we were there, we're like, where should we go eat the first night we're there? Everybody goes, oh, let's go do the city walk. So we walked around. Everything was so packed except for Bubba Gump shrimp.
Oh.
So we went and ate there. It was good food, but they did all kinds of Forrest Gump trivia while you're in there. And I'm like, man, this has got a shelf life.
Gump.
Yeah, and it's a generation below ours probably has no clue what a lot of that is. So it's a theme that they're like, you know what? They needed to make a Forrest Gump 2 to keep this going. Don't think that's going to happen.
See, so the moral of the story is you had a good Father's Day because you weren't around your children.
That's right. That's what I said.
How differently do you parent your kids than your father parented you?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question because I think my dad and I are very similar in a lot of ways.
Do you favor your dad?
No, I don't favor either one of my parents.
Is that what they told you to say?
Well, you've seen my parents. They've shown up at things before.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I don't not look like them.
No, not in your looks.
Oh, okay.
In your personality.
In my personality.
In the way you, like, which one do you favor?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm an equal mix of both of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom is she's very light and funny, and and my dad is
So you're
not
more like your dad?
yeah. My dad is not unfunny. He's like his whole side of the family is a little more like witty, and they like making witty jokes, and my mom's side is a little more goofy. So I think between the two sides, I kind of straddle the middle. I use the word straddle on purpose there. There's a video for you, Brad. I straddle both sides of my family. We gotta say something. The air alert's gonna go off.
It would probably be for the best.
Stupid. Why am I here? Like, what do I contribute? Is that it? Yeah, I had a great Father's Day to answer your question. It was great. We watched a movie called The Watchers. M. Night Shyamalan.
No. How the way our parents' generation, are your parents boomers? Boomers.
Yep.
Everybody's
I think
boomer.
so.
The way boomers were parented by the greatest generation, a very, very different life experience from the greatest generation to millennials. Completely different circumstances to be raised in. So you can understand the heavier fist that came with people who grew up in the Depression, who saw one, if not two, world wars or fought in these world wars. Then the boomers who raised the millennials. It was always rich to listen to boomers complain about millennials. And I'm like, you literally made us. You literally created this.
Yeah, you did this.
This is on you.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
And now millennials are raising Gen Z.
Sorta. Like
And
high
Gen
end
Alpha.
to back end. Yeah.
And so I don't think you can't criticize generations for who they are as a generation when they're kids, because they're knuckleheads. They're kids. But that's the way everybody was when they were kids. But I could definitely say that there is a dramatic difference in what I would just maybe put in the broad category of discipline. When I grew up, I remember being spanked, not frequently, but I do remember being spanked. Definitely grounded. I was grounded a lot because I was mouthy and I deserved it most of the time. But that was pretty much the discipline that I got. And I remember being grounded from like electricity. Like if it plugged in, I couldn't use it. No TV, no radio, nothing like that. Read a book, take a nap, go outside. I think that the generation, like our parents' generation, they probably got discipline with a heavier fist. You know, I think about watching the Jackson 5, which is the extreme of discipline from a parent or whatever, but like the idea of going out and getting a Switch, I'd never heard of that until I saw that video. So it definitely changes over time. How were you disciplined when you were growing up? Was it heavy-fisted? Did you not need discipline? Did they not employ discipline?
It's weird because I was a pretty good kid, but part of that was because they would threaten discipline, and I would respond to just the threat of discipline. So there's that. But at the same time, I mean, this is a weird tangent to get off onto, but...
Does it have to do with shrimp?
No.
Okay, good.
It does have to do with seafood, though. You ever had grouper?
No,
oh, my
I don't eat
gosh.
seafood.
That's where I wanted to go. No, it has to do with having CF. I think they handled me differently.
Sure.
Because they thought... I think, honestly, they probably spoiled me a little bit more than they would have if I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because they really did think, you know, if you get into your teens and 20s, that's going to be a long, good life for you.
Yeah.
And so they didn't really think they needed to discipline me as much.
But it's not like you were pressing the issue terribly for them to...
And it's not like they were being, like, absentee parents about it. I just think that there's things that I was not... I think that they probably would have handled disciplining me a little bit differently. And that's just my perspective. They probably would say, no, we just did it the way we did it, you know? But that's my perspective.
Did you get in trouble a lot?
Me, no. When I was punished well.
Yeah.
I got my fair share of whoopings.
Yeah.
I didn't get punished a lot. Groundings didn't really work on me, especially as I got older, because I really didn't go out and do that much. So there's like, you're grounded, and it's like I didn't have any plans anyway. And so I would just stay in my room and play video games or whatever. But yeah, I didn't really get punished all that often. But when I did, my parents were solid on their punishments.
Yeah, which I think you have to be. I mean, of course, there are a lot of different methods to doing that. There was an interview with a Boston Red Sox player, Tristan. Do you know how to say his last name?
I don't.
Casas,
Casas, I think.
Casas, C-A-S-A-S. And he was in the dugout, and it's Father's Day. So I guess he was probably asked about his dad, because if you, especially with a professional baseball player, most professional athletes, dad's usually pretty involved in that process. Certainly, mom is as well. But there's a special baseball mom thing. There's a special baseball dad thing. So he was asked about this, and it kind of took a weird turn.
I'm in coach pitch, and I'm so young. I don't really know what's going on at this point still. I'm still just playing baseball just to burn calories and get out there and get some sun. Right. And, I get out one day, and I come back to the dugout crying, pissed, and, that's what a 6-year-old does. He sits on the bench and he cries, and he doesn't want to go out there when, his team's playing defense. So my dad, being the dad that he is, trying to teach me the lessons that he did in his own special way, came into the dugout. He actually grabbed me by my shirt, dragged me to the line, and Looney Tunes style kicked me out onto the field. And actually had one of my best friends that I went to high school with later. He ended up playing pro ball. His mom actually called child services on my dad, had him arrested at the field. No, for real. This is no joke. At the field, I see my dad go away in the cop car, gets arrested, sent the night to jail.
You're kidding.
But that day...
So they're just like, hey, your dad been important to you in your career? And he tells this story. But did you hear him say he was like 6? When he said that this happened? In my mind, I can devise what a Looney Tune butt kicking looks like. But he got... obviously that worked itself out. That sounds like a tragic story. And if that's where that ended, it would probably feel kind of tragic. But the important thing that this Boston Red Sox player was what he said
That
next.
day, my dad taught me a super valuable lesson that not a lot of people know. And it's that I had a responsibility to my teammates. I had a responsibility to my coaches, to the parents that showed up that day, all the fans who were at that Little League game, whatever it may be, to go out there and give my best effort, no matter how I was feeling on the bench, no matter what I was going through that day, or whatever little hardship that I was feeling when I got out, that I still apply every single time, because sometimes I just want to sit down on this bench after I get out, and I want to weep and I want to cry, but that's not how baseball is. So, yeah, I love my dad to death. I wouldn't have this opportunity without him, but yeah, funny little excerpt. That's the type of guy my dad is.
So, this kid isn't traumatized by it. He actually attributes, while he's in the dugout for the Boston Red Sox, the story about his dad that he chooses to tell is that one. That's kind of a story that I think in 2024, people don't tell those stories anymore. But everybody has a story, not everybody, but lots of people who are his age, older, have stories of really tough love that was provided to them in their formative years. And I don't think, if I talk about parents these days, I am parents these days. Our parenting style, mine specifically, is hard love and hard discipline. Like, if you're having fun, I try to insert myself into the situation to have as much fun with them as I possibly can and to provide the most fun for them that I possibly can. And I have a simple ask. Live in these parameters. You're in those parameters, it's going to be 100% fun all of the time. Be very specifically, distinctly clear on what those parameters are. And if you step out of bounds, you're getting right back in bounds immediately. We're not spankers. Definitely grew up with spankings. Everybody spanked in the 80s and the 90s. People do that less now. I don't think there's anything wrong with not spanking your kids. I've heard people be like, that kid just needs a good whooping. I don't think that that's the only way to solve things. I don't regret that it was used when it was used in my life, per se, but I just don't think it's the only way to handle the situation. And I think that the generation that raised us was I think they even pulled back quite a bit. That naturally, when it comes time for us to be raising kids, we're going to pull back even more. But But I just thought, what an interesting opportunity for in a baseball game to be asking about a dad and to hear like the most dad story you could possibly hear and have it be refreshing kind of in the end.
And if you're that interviewer, you're going, man, this is great. I'm so glad I asked you this question. But it's also in a social media world. I don't know about you guys. Yesterday, everybody's posting pictures of their husbands or their dads or whatever, and it's highlights. You don't usually hear the tough stuff. He just told a tough stuff part in the middle of a good story, and that's an opportunity to do that. I'm glad that he did that.
That is a good question, too, to ask about Father's Day, like what makes a good dad. I think showing up and being present is that's like entry-level good dad stuff. But you almost, in order to define, like, why do we have Mother's Day and why do we have Father's Day? Why do we have two separate days? There are households where you only have a mother. There are households where you only have a father. And that's one of the most impressive things that I've witnessed in my life is my friends who are raising kids by themselves. They have strong villages, which is helpful. But the idea that you would celebrate a mother for being a mother and a father for being a father, they are different roles. That doesn't mean that, just like anything else, that doesn't mean that if athletics are traditionally thought of as more of a masculine thing, that women can't participate in the same, like women's hockey team. Like you would think of hockey more as a men's sport, but there are women who are very, very, very good at it and accomplished at it. And it doesn't take away from the women that they're women doing, and it doesn't take away from the men that women are doing, and it just is what it is. You have crossovers. You can have women be the disciplinarians. You can have men be nurturers, but the chances of the roles being completely reversed doesn't happen very often. And you're still going to have elements in men and women where they're going to exemplify those things differently. And discipline is at the foundation of what you need to have as a parent. Everybody can love on your grandmas and grandpas. Their job is to love on the kids. Like this unconditional sense of love and, set the rationale aside of, it's dinner's in an hour. Here's a piece of candy. That type of stuff. Because they're grandma and grandpa, you get to do that. The idea of a parent being the only person that loves people, the parents that love that kid so much that they're willing to, in the child's mind, hurt the child mentally or hurt the circumstances of that child through a form of discipline, be it taking something away that kid loves, not allowing the kid to participate in something that everybody else is doing. That hurts that child in that child's mind. As a parent, you are the one person who on this earth is supposed to love them so much that you're willing to allow them to be hurt because you know what's good for them. And those aren't the things you post on social media.
And if you did, and if that's all you posted, that would be another kind of weird thing. So it's not even like a bad thing that you're not posting that stuff. But I love hearing stories that involve a little bit of the tough stuff and then seeing it through the other side.
Yeah. Hope you had a good Father's Day and enjoyed your time. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, gosh, I'm avoiding the Caitlin Clark conversation for right now. It's hard to avoid. I'd be curious on our YouTube live right now how many people there want to be talking about Caitlin Clark. I don't know if talking about it more is the solution. Let me know what you think. Also vote in the YouTube live chat poll. How would you assess Joe Biden's mental acuity? Mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine.
Michael's Flooring Outlet wants to know if you're looking for new floors. Are you in the St. Louis bi-state region, the St. Charles area? Well, they have the carpet or the carpet tile or the hardwood or the laminate, the regular tile, all of it that you are looking for. A great value. Don't miss out on the opportunity to shop and save when you work your way over to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have a commitment to excellence, and one of the things that I really love to celebrate them is they're local. They're family-owned and operated and have been successfully selling flooring to people just like you, hardworking St. Louisans, for 30 years. And you get to be that successful over that course of time by people who are repeat shoppers because they loved the service and appreciated the quality product that they got. And they allow you to talk to them. They allow you to understand what you're purchasing. They encourage you to ask questions. They have the answers that you need to make a smart financial decision for the flooring installation in your home or your place of business, your church, or wherever you're looking for. They have the highest quality products, and you can request an estimate online very simply by going to igotfloored.com.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Officer John Van Gordon, recruiter with the Springfield Police Department. We are currently looking for driven, qualified, and team-oriented citizens to become the next generation of community-minded servants here in Springfield. Our salaries and benefits are paid from day one. Plus, right now, new recruits are eligible to receive a $5,000 hiring incentive, and experienced officers looking to transfer are eligible for $10,000. To learn more, visit GoSPD.com. That's GoSPD.com.
Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Keeping you connected and aware.
In the world, the country, and the community.
And offering more ways than ever to listen conveniently. Tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk or download the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
It wasn't easy, but now
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I just forgot the name of the show because I was trying. What were you guys talking about? Is Trisha coming?
What?
Were you mouthing something to him? Did I go on?
No, I was lip
singing
syncing the
along.
song because I know all the words, even though it's hard to understand him.
Every time I look over at Ryan Wiggins and I'm trying to do something, he's trying to signal like he's trying to land a plane. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no. No, you were doing fine. Yeah. I was just kind of entertaining the internet. This wasn't for the radio at all.
Entertaining the internet.
Yeah, everybody who's viewing us on the live stream was just getting the hugest kick out of what I was doing. But it was just for them. It was just a private thing.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure.
Oh, I'm done. This is your show.
Have you heard about 50 Cent and what he's doing in Shreveport, Louisiana?
I can honestly tell you no.
No.
I don't even know
I haven't
what
heard
that
this
means.
either.
There are news reports out there on this that are from like local entities. There is a Hot 97. That's a very successful radio station in New York, I believe. Used to be owned by Emmis, who used to own us. 50 Cent and his G-Unit crew are coming together to help with housing access to residents in Shreveport, Louisiana. On Wednesday, this is last Wednesday, KTAL reported that the rapper and G-Unit will purchase nearly 24 properties throughout the city. So he had invested in Shreveport initially, but he has just recently expanded this. The goal is to bring a vibrant community back to downtown Shreveport. Gerard Durden, a local real estate agent who's working with Fifth, says this is a passion project for the rapper. He said, we're looking at a grocery store in the immediate downtown Shreveport area. All those are ideas we've come up with together with that whole team and saying, what can help the community? According to KTAL, the Power Creators Revitalization Plan entails 3 phases: revitalization of the city, offering access to affordable housing, and implementing programs for children in the community. So, I came across this because we often hear about people like whining and moaning about the fact that people don't show up. People don't do anything to invest in making circumstances and communities better outside of campaigns. And when I came across this initially, it was from, I'm not familiar. The reason why I was trying to look for other articles is because I'm not familiar with this person who's tweeting, and I'm always worried that I'm going to cite somebody on Twitter and they're going to come back and be like, he's the worst person ever. And I'm like, I did not know. But this person he's got 178 plus thousand followers. He's only following 287 people. So just because I don't know him does not mean in any way, shape, or form that he is not known. But it's Baheezy tweets.
Oh, he's the worst.
Oh, shut up.
I didn't know this was from Baheezy.
I think that he's probably pretty cool. His description on his profile says the Lord is good.
Well, I mean, that's
Don't even
fine,
try.
but-
Don't even try. He said, can we talk about 50 Cent partnering with the Republican mayor of Shreveport, Louisiana, to completely rebuild the city into a modern hub of American greatness? He recently reached an agreement with the mayor to lease a gigantic property as headquarters for G-Unit, his film and television studio that will provide thousands of jobs to the city and unleash the potential of local talent. Quote, in Shreveport, my aim is to embody the spirit of conscious capitalism. The focus on creating jobs, stimulating commerce, and contributing to economic growth for this vibrant community. Our vision, to make Shreveport a beacon in the entertainment industry, a place where creativity meets opportunity, where talent meets mentorship, and where amazing stories come to light that resonate globally. He tweets, additionally, 50 Cent has been buying up buildings all over downtown Shreveport. He wants to renovate them and turn them into beautiful attractions. He bought 2 buildings across from each other that no other investor would have paid attention to. He also bought parking lots and other abandoned buildings and plans to buy dozens more downtown properties in phase 1 of his plan. The next phase is housing. He wants to turn some of the buildings into residentials for lower-income families who want to build their way up. Phase 3 includes the creation of programs for children to keep them safe, out of the streets, and engaged in the community. A G-Unit growth advisor, Orville Hall, said, quote, We're going to go to each high school, and we hope to put an immediate program in each high school to start training purposes and mentorships, all kinds of things to put young people in a positive environment. Bahezi Tweets goes on to say, I'm so impressed by 50 Cent. He's not just donating money to charity. He is creating opportunity for people and reviving what it means to live the American dream. And then he says he is no longer 50 Cent. He's $1 to me now.
Oh, man, that's a great ending.
Isn't that so refreshing to hear somebody taking their wealth? I mean, the chance, if this is successful, my assumption is that 50 Cent is going to make money off of it.
So that's what I was looking at while you were reading that article, was about the population average income of Shreveport, because I don't know much about it. It's not a huge city.
I mean, Louisiana is a low income.
It's low income.
State.
However, oddly, red states, especially in the South and Midwest, red states are getting a lot of investment.
Low income, low cost.
That's right. And so it's only 180,000 people live in Shreveport. So red city, Republican governor. This could be a city that's on the ups. 50 Cent could be investing because he knows, hey, in 10 years, this stuff's going to be worth double, whatever. I don't know. But let's say it's not. Let's say that this is a city that has seen better days. It's very much economically depressed, and he's investing in this city anyway. That is great. However, if it's just benevolent investing, it's a good first step, but it can't be the only step. You need to get it to where people actually bring outside investment into an area. And this kind of thing does matter. It's usually a first step to many other steps, though.
Well, I mean, he clearly lays out that it isn't just one step, that this is a very thought out process, and that he sees, this is the thing that I think is so refreshing and compelling about this, is that 50 Cent sees opportunity there. He's not going to go, I mean, good grief. If you go into a burdensome blue city in a blue state, you can't do these things because the cost is too high.
Right.
You can't go into an area outside of Chicago that's oppressed by Illinois state politicians and Chicago politicians and invest wisely there because it's too expensive. And so the poverty might exist in the same way. The people might be stuck in the same way. But you can do that in Louisiana, and he is, and I think that's amazing. And the idea that he's going to some, like they mentioned at the top, the Republican mayor of Shreveport is like, let's do this. It doesn't have to be about politics. To me, this isn't a Republican move by 50 Cent. It's a capitalist move. And it's a really good example, should it pan out, of how capitalism can lift communities up and provide opportunity. Now, if you go into Shreveport and you invest and you provide all this opportunity and nobody wants the opportunity because they prefer the bare minimum that government might show up and hand them, there's really not much you can do about that.
But there's also something to be said for red state, red governor, or red mayor. That means that they're probably, if those programs exist, they're drawing them back. Because I don't know what the history of the politics of Shreveport is, but if you have a lot of Republicans running these things, it probably does indicate that there's not as much welfare, there's not as much government assistance for
I don't
everything.
know that. I mean, that's all inference. That's all assumption. None of that. That's my point. Is none of that stuff matters. The politics about it, it doesn't matter when you have somebody who identifies a place where they can invest in it. And Does 50 Cent have a heart for helping people? I think he does. Mm-hmm. He also has a fat pocketbook. And if he can help people in this community by investing in it, I'm just very curious to see how this pans out, because what's going to happen to Shreveport when the government isn't there overseeing every dollar that gets taken from a taxpayer to give to a taxpayer? What's going to happen when the government isn't the overseeing entity in Shreveport, providing money that they've taken from other people to try to ensure others that they'll be taken care of? The security that you hope for in the United States of America that you don't earn, that you have to take. And maybe because that's all you've ever known. There are so many people who have only ever experienced this type of a lifestyle, and for whatever particular reason, people are just really comfortable with the idea that this is just the status quo. That people are not, the communities that are hurting right now, the impoverished communities that are Black communities and white communities. There's a lot of poor white communities, folks. That you see the struggle of the impoverished. We cannot, as decent human beings, think that politicians are going to solve all of these problems and just wait and hope that our guy, our girl wins the election and then solves all the problems, because you and I both know that's not what's going to happen. We saw this weekend, Donald Trump went to Detroit and he's kind of turning it on its head. Donald Trump is going to places that Republicans don't traditionally go. The ironic thing is that the Democrats don't go there either. The Democrat candidates, we've had people on in this studio from very urban areas right here in the shadow of the St. Louis Arch on the Illinois side of the river, and they say the Democrats, they don't even come around. They send surrogates to hand them a card and say, here's who you're going to vote for this year. Because they feel like that vote is locked in. Here's a Biden campaign, the same guy who we played earlier, talking about Donald Trump and the black vote.
Well, first of all, it's going to be a very close election. Every one of them is. Secondly, there's no universe in which Donald Trump is going to get 21% of the black vote. That's never going to happen.
Do you know what I hear there? The campaign thinks that there is literally nothing. The Joe Biden campaign thinks there is literally nothing that Joe Biden could do to lose 79% of the black vote. There is no universe where Donald Trump is going to get 21% of the black vote. And the campaign co-chair of Joe Biden's administration is so sure of that he's willing to put that out there forever. If you are a black person listening, you need to know that Joe Biden's chair thinks that 4 out of 5 of you, no matter what, there is not a damn thing that Joe Biden could do to make you not vote for him. 4 out of 5. Is that not the most insulting thing that you could say to a person? I see the color of your skin. 4 out of 5 of you are going to vote for me no matter what I do. That's what he's saying.
And it's so head in the sand because the trend, I mean, you can cite polls, and I think even in that interview or one that we've talked about today, it was Jake Tapper going, look, these are real numbers I'm citing to you here. And whoever was like, no. You're citing one poll. That's just one poll. Like, this is a big trend. And so for him, I hope he is burying his head in the sand because he's going to be shocked come November how wrong he is.
Well, it's not just head in the sand. It's arrogance and elitist. We know what's best for them, and they will do what we tell them to do, is essentially what it's saying. And there's nothing that we can do that will change their mind.
Well, Donald Trump tried one thing. Listen to this pastor.
President Trump, I'm so humbled that you would be here. President Obama never came to the hood, so to speak, right? President Joe Biden, he went to the big NAACP dinner, but he never came to the hood. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Very humble, really nice. Thank you. My honor.
I love it.
21%. If Donald Trump gets 21% of the black vote, that is seismic in the future because it's an acknowledgement that, guess what? People think with their brains, not with their skin. And the first party that starts acknowledging it, and I see Donald Trump's Republican Party acknowledging it by showing up. Good for them. I don't care how many of those people end up voting for you, Donald Trump. Show up and make sure they understand that they matter because they do. Don't treat them like the Democrats have treated them. There's literally nothing that the Democrats think, that Joe Biden thinks, that his campaign thinks. There's literally nothing they could do that would be so bad that 4 out of 5 black individuals would still vote for them. They don't think they can fail. They don't think they can screw it up. That's what they think of black voters. It's disgusting. It's actually racist, is what it is. Let's take a quick break, and we'll get to the YouTube live chat poll results. When we come back, how would you assess Joe Biden's mental acuity? Is it mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? You tell us. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the bagel loan. Bagels look like a zero, and that's what you pay in closing costs when you get your mortgage through Stewie. I have done 2 mortgage refinances with Stewie. I am a customer myself. I speak at this from personal experience. He will explain every detail to you if you want to understand it. Of course, I wanted to understand every detail. And when I did the bagel loan refinance the first time to get my mortgage rate lowered, this was back in maybe 2018, 2019. I was really grateful that I did. And then rates went down even further, and then I refinanced again, and now I'm grateful that I have a super low rate. He'll walk you through every step of the process. He'll make sure that you understand what's going on the refi if you want to do that. Pay nothing to do it. Why wouldn't you get a lower rate right now? If you can't, if you got your mortgage in the last year or so, rates might have come down a bit since then. Get that lower rate locked in while you can. If you're looking to purchase a home, he is there to take your phone call or your text as well. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Tell him Annie sent you. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Summer is right here now. Summer starts June 21st. But let's just say summer started. I have to say, if you have not been proactive and scheduled your checkup to make sure your air conditioner is ready, that's fine, because I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't in the business, I wouldn't either. So if you haven't done it, if you haven't had it checked and it does break down, just save my number in your phone. Not while you're driving, but when you stop or when you're at that light or when that really, really slow driver is in front of you in the passing lane. That's the perfect time to save my number. Call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number. The easiest of all numbers for Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are 2 things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today has to do with Joe Biden. How would you assess his acuity? Mentally fit, slipping, or mentally unfit? Now, we talked a little bit about this a little bit last hour, and the results were a little closer than I would have thought, because I thought one of these was going to run away with it. You got about 10 minutes to get that vote in. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat
There
poll.
are definitely some people who are not watching the same things we're watching.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm interested to find out the results of this poll, which we'll find out within the next few minutes here. So you got a little bit of time left. 2:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Happy Monday to you. We're going to get going here after Fox News. The president has another awkward moment on stage with this time Barack Obama. And KJP and the Democrats say, it's all taken out of context. We're going to talk about it coming up.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Do you guys think that the Detroit stop, Donald Trump going and listening to, their words, going to the hood, saying that, do you think it's going to be impactful?
This stuff makes a tremendous difference. And I don't know about if it's going to turn out huge numbers or not, but perception is everything. And if he has people opening the door to him that traditionally would not, to other Republicans, maybe Trump's a little bit different, he's got to take every single one of these opportunities.
Donald Trump needs to his campaign needs to clearly understand who his opponent is. It is not Joe Biden. Donald Trump's opponent is the caricature, the slandered version of Donald Trump that the American people have been sold. That is who his fight is with. The people out there who believe him to be a disillusioned version of who he really is. I said this earlier in the show. I will say it again now. I believe that when that facade is removed, that people are going to look at him for how Donald Trump truly is, and some of them will vote for him, and some of them still are not going to vote for him. Because nobody even considers what his policies are. Nobody talks about Trump's policies. They just talk about how he's big, scary orange man bad. And that's enough. Listen to CNN Harry Enton talking about this.
I keep looking for this to change, to go back to a historical norm, and it simply put has not yet. So this is the margin, or Biden and Trump among black voters, compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now. At this point, look at this. In 2020, Joe Biden was getting 86% of the African-American vote. Look at where it is now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground, it's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for a Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades.
Could you hear his heart beating a little faster through
Yes.
the whole thing? It's not going back. What do I do?
And I love the fact that he's talking about historic numbers. These aren't lies. What I'm seeing is sticking around, and it's not climbing toward historic highs. It's careening toward historic highs. That's not even the word you use.
Can I also just insert in here? Okay, there's the black vote, and that is up for debate as to whether or not you believe, like the Democrats believe, that Joe Biden could do literally anything and 4 out of 5 black individuals will still vote Democrat. That's how confident they are in the Democrat vote. And I only bring this up because in the YouTube chat, it's being discussed right now. People aren't going to vote for a convicted felon. How many people out there in the world have been convicted of a felony of any kind? Even the really, really dangerous one that Donald Trump committed, which was what?
I think it was a unaccounted for campaign violation. The paperwork thing mainly.
A campaign violation after he'd already won.
Yeah.
Something-ish. How many people out there have been convicted of a felony and have lived a life after that would be really sad if the only thing that defined them and their existence?
Oh, man.
This is what people say. This is what the left, this is like talking point number 1. This is what Joe Biden did all of this for. Imagine being a convicted felon voter out there right now, and they do exist. It depends on the state. Or loving a convicted felon and listening to the Democratic Party over and over and over again say that is the only thing that defines that person as an individual. Losers, bad idea. Don't go there. Because listen, there are a lot of people who have refined over the course of their time and made changes who are convicted felons for actual, way worse crimes than what we're talking about Donald Trump's doing. It's just one more indication of how much the Democrat Party hates you and knows that if they got your vote, they got your vote. They can't lose it. Is Joe Biden mentally fit to be the president? We asked you to assess Joe Biden's acuity. 8% of you say he's in the middle slipping. 16% of you said mentally fit, and 75% said mentally unfit. And the mentally fit was doing a little bit better there for a while. Thank you to the 350 people who showed up and voted today. Mark Reardon, next.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Point Pest Control, my BFFs over at Point Pest Control are ready to help you at your house with your pest problem. Nope, not little kids, just the ones with all the extra legs. Ryan is emphatically nodding. You know what I'm talking about.
Every day.
Yeah. 636-798-0023. Let me be specific. Ants, spiders, crickets, mice. If you have termites, they can help you with that as well. If you have a pest control issue in your home, in your business, Point works with a ton of local businesses. You'd know the names if I listed them because they're trusted. And I trust them in my house. I also have a premium service plan membership that every time I make that quarterly payment, I'm super excited to do it because I know my house will continue to be bug-free, as it has been since they initially treated my spider problem last fall. 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. Mention my name and save an extra 10% on the top of any special they have running. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The shooter's dead, but Michigan wants answers. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. After the mass shooting in a splash pad near Detroit on Saturday, sheriff's officials say 2